now is Employee Gifting Decoded, what HR and administration leaders really look for. To begin with this session, let me call upon on stage Mr. Srikant Acharya, founder and CEO of Offineeds, and he would be moderating this session. Mr. Srikant is the founder and CEO of Offineeds, and he leads India's leading corporate gifting and fulfillment platform, helping organizations create meaningful brand experiences. He is also the co-founder of Vantora, a premium made-in-India brand campaigning global quality design and manufacturing. Please give a big round of applause to Mr. Srikant Acharya, and over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bhakti, and thanks Gifts World Expo for this opportunity. Really thrilled to be here. When I got invited to speak on this topic, trying to understand or decode what HR or admin really want from their corporate gifting vendors, the thought that came to my mind is this 2000 movie. It's called What Women Want. It's a Mel Gibson starrer. It's a rom-com, and it's a really hilarious movie. What happens in this movie is, like, men have no clue what women are thinking, right? So Mel Gibson meets with a small accident. It hits his head, and he's able to hear what women are able to think when they're still not saying it. So it's a hilarious sequences, what happens when he's with women and they're thinking something, but they're not saying it, and he's able to understand it, and he uses it to his advantage, right? So go watch the movie if you can. So a lot of times we are playing this cat and mouse game with HR and admin and with corporates, right? We don't know what they really want, and we're trying to understand it. So I thought that's a direction that I will start with, and today is going to be somewhat like that, and it's going to be pretty interesting. So let me take a moment to invite the panelists. Let's begin with someone who has completely reimagined how modern gifting looks and feels like. Saumya Kabra is the founder and CEO of Confetti Gifts. Saumya comes with strong academic credentials. Please, Saumya, please come onto the stage. A round of welcome for Saumya. Saumya comes with very strong academic credentials. She's got an MSc in Innovation Management and Entrepreneurship from the University of Manchester, and she started Confetti Gifts in 2020. Like, she's a Gen Zer here. Some of us might have as much experience as she, as old as she is maybe, right? And I'm a big fan of Confetti Gifts' Instagram page. You guys should go look it up. If the internet works, open it up, and you will see their gifts look drop dead gorgeous. So welcome. I think it's going to be an interesting conversation to have you around. She deals from D2C to corporate, and now I think even wedding return gifts also. Right. Next we have Siddhi Shah. She's the CEO and founding team member at PrintStop India with over 17 years of experience. Please give her a warm round of applause, please. In building process-driven, customer-first businesses. She's a rank 1 computer science graduate and a CISA certified leader. So when we talk about structured scaling performance and tech-enabled organizations, you have any questions related to how to scale corporate gifting, she's the person you need to be really pointing to, right? And third, we have our panelist, Dinesh Bhangdiya, who's the director and the strategic force behind Brownwall Food Products, which is home to 2 nationally known brands, Ruchoks and Diba. A round of applause for Dinesh. Dinesh is a chartered accountant by qualification, so brings a lot of strategic value. He's a numbers guy, but he's in the food business. So truly he's where strategy meets sweetness, that's Dinesh. And now something that I'm really excited, something which is very, very unique, is bringing the client voice to this conversation, the perspective every gifting company wants to know, right? What do clients really think about, right? So we have Vaibhav Ugale, who brings over 25 years of experience across Toshiba, Airtel, Tata Group, and he's a round of applause for Vaibhav. Vaibhav, please join us. He is known for building the HR function at Toshiba Johnson Elevators India from the ground up, driving culture, digital HR transformation, and engagement-led systems. Like, follow him on LinkedIn, and he's really an authority and an influencer in this space, right? So with this, before I absolutely start off, right, I'm going to take that chair, but before that, I want to get a reasonable understanding from the audience here. If you are a OEM or a manufacturer or a brand owner or distributor, which means your clients are other corporate gifting companies and distributors, please show of hands. so that we have an idea? Okay, we've got like a very small section here. I'm assuming everyone else here is interested in selling to corporates. Is that correct? If that is correct, please show of hands. Okay, and the rest of you are just here because you needed a place to sit after lunch. You're welcome. That's good too, no problem, right? So I'll take that chair and let's get started. Okay, so let's, the first set of questions that I really want to begin with is by pointing it directly at Vaibhav and trying to really understand why we are so confused about understanding what corporate gifts want. What's wrong with us, right? I want to kind of point it in that direction, and I want to say how can we understand it better. But I also want to point it specifically in the sense of like what role does price play in deciding which vendor to work with? How important is pricing? Can you share some light on that?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Please excuse me, I'm having a very high cold and not having a good throat, so please excuse me for my voice. I think everyone knows one line. You know, there was one advertisement. Itne paise mein itna hi milega. And I think that applies everywhere, not only in gifting, but in everywhere. So, end of the day, yes, price matters a lot. But before that, it is important that what company thinks about, what is company's culture, you know, what is company's values. And within those frameworks, price is one of the frameworks which we have to work upon. And I think that's why all 4, 5 pillars comes to support the decision. Price may go up and down because we always have maybe about say 5-10% variation here and there. But if the other pillars like values, culture, intention doesn't matter or doesn't meet, then I don't think so price will have an impact. But yes, as I said, price will always have an impact.
So what are the other, let's say, 4 or 5 traits, or let's say top 3 traits you look for in a corporate gifting partner? Let's say apart from price. Price is a given, right? It's something that, but what are the other traits that you'd look for in a corporate gifting supplier?
Okay. So I have worked with companies like Tata's, Airtel, now with Toshiba for almost 14 years. For us, values are the most important thing. For Toshiba, we say do the right thing is one of the most important value. And when we talk about such interactions, do the right thing is the driving force for us. And so when we finalize our vendor, we also, we look for the capacity of the vendor. At the same time, what are his values? Whether he is a vendor who can follow the guidelines what we have, whether he has his team which is following the right things. So those are also becomes very critical when we shortlist a vendor. So it's not only about the kind of services or kind of products the vendor is supplying, but at the same time, what are the values the customer or the vendor has.
Right, perfect. So you mentioned values and you mentioned capability. Can we dive a little bit deeper into capability? What, according to you, is capability? What are you looking for?
Okay, so this is the third ball for me in the first over itself. Let me try to put it to the boundary. So when we talk about capabilities, see, we have various, I think I'll go back to your statement, You gave an example of one of the movie. So for HR, we also want to have that kind of, what do you say, a blessing, to understand what my customer or what my employees want, what my management wants, what my, investor wants. Similarly, when we say what the vendors are doing, or what vendors want. So when we talk about their capability, how they can take care of things in a various ways. One is how their ideas, innovations are fitting to the culture, how their ideas, innovations, products fit into my team, how they can support me across the globe or wherever I need the support. And the most important thing, how soon they can take care of the things. I think those are the few things which is always important for us while shortlisting a preferred vendor, a preferred. I always say, I was talking to Siddhi some time back. Transparency is the most important thing for us. You know, the partners, those are not vendors, they are partners who are ensuring that the values of the company has been put in various other ways. And gifting is one of the way where company can actually connect with the employees.
Awesome. I think that's a great start. And while Vaibhav mentioned about doing the right thing, I saw quite a few people raising eyebrows. Okay, that's easier said than done. So we'll try to tackle that. We'll throw a googly at Vaibhav in a while, and let's see how that comes along. So we spoke about processes and things like that, and we spoke about some customer expectation. And I was speaking to Siddhi, and we were talking about how the customer expectation is different in different segments. So you want to throw some light on that, Siddhi?
Yeah. So I think when RFPs come out, typically it's all about a very big checklist and price being one of the most important ones. I think what we've
L1,
realized
L2,
is,
L3.
as we've interacted with different industries, the persona of the seller or the buyer is very different. And it comes from the culture of the company. The obvious need is, I want a gift in example, 1,000 rupee budget. But when you get into the conversation with the user, you come to know that there are a lot of hidden pain points, a lot of hidden chaos in large enterprises, right? And gifting just becomes a checkbox. So how do you really stand out? How do you differentiate? By value adding. Value add is key, right? So हम बोलते हैं हम आपका process कैसे आसान कर सकते हैं, right? Today, one of the biggest problems that large enterprises face is the whole offline buying journey and then distribution and making sure it reaches the employee or the customer on time, safely. All these are aspects which never come out, right? So I think uncovering the obvious layer and co-creating a win-win solution is something that kind of helps you build that trust, as Vaibhav said. And when you are new in a company, they don't know how good you are. So in our experience, typically with large enterprises, if they like our solution, we have a tech platform. If they like the solution, they like the curation, they always do a ref check. And that's where credibility comes into play. And I think once you are in the door, you promising as you deliver, and I think we are all dependent on the ecosystem. Like, I would have to go to a Dinesh to buy and get the chocolates and then deliver to a Vaibhav, right? So I think it's an ecosystem. So there will be times when we fail and we can't keep up to what we've promised. At that time, being with the customer, solving, building that trust is what keeps us going as we scale.
Awesome. I'll come back to you with a story on how you would have handled a tough situation, because this business is all about, handling those kind of unpredictable, tough situations, logistics fail. So I want to come back to you on that. I want to point to Saumya and ask about, personalization at scale, right? So I love your website, love your Instagram, and it's every time I look at it, I feel this is something that I want to give to my wife or my girlfriend, right? So, but when you give it to employees of a larger organization where hundreds, how do you balance that personalization and scale? Is it something one versus the other, or is it possible to balance both?
So I think personalization in itself adds a lot of chaos to the whole process. However, that being said, without personalization, corporate gifting really is a little far off. So personalization at scale is a mandate when we look at corporate gifting. Now, how we do it and what makes it scalable comes down to processes. I do believe that streamlining every detailed step in terms of be it the quality checks that you do and be it the coordination that goes on internally within your team, everything plays a very crucial role, and that has to be pretty well controlled in order to make sure that scale personalization is accurately sent, because there are no spaces of error that you get in gifting, right? So every emotion is entangled right there with that hamper, and somebody's reputation is at stake. So there is no way that we can, pick one or the other in corporate gifting, and also there is no way to risk it So it's rather being more detailed and precise with the operations flow and the coordination that goes on. And I think these days tech platforms are, so handy that we can make sure that we have the right set of systems to ensure all our parameters are rightly measured and within the scalability that we're looking at.
So, I mean, we use the word personalization very generally, right? And it could mean different things to different people.
Yeah.
Tell us, what does personalization mean to you?
I think there are two broad terms that we use, which is one personalization and the other customization. So firstly, in my sense, how I would segregate that is customization would rather term at, the one set of logo being printed to all. Personalization would rather be every box is going out differently, even if it's a single corporate order. Now, when I look at personalization for us, it comes down to how are we able to personalize, be it name, be it individually categorizing different categories that the company ideally want to give to the employees, because not everyone in a company would rather appreciate the same set of gifts. To give an example, a 25-year-old person might not like the same set of products that maybe a 50-year-old person would. So there is a vast diversity in terms of the product selections as well, which can also be termed as personalization when it comes down to product selection for even the companies and as well as us as vendors to them. So it's too broad of a term as well, and the more that you do it, the more value you do create for the companies. However, scaling it with a limiting set of personalization is always ideal, because that reduces the chance of risk of error. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So I'll invite in some more time, maybe I'll open the audience for any questions that you might have. So think of any questions that you have, write it down before you forget it, and be ready. I'll pass the mic to you after probably 15-20 minutes or so. So Dinesh ji, you are in a very, very interesting space, right? We all love to stay slim, but we also like our sweets really, really well. And I at least from an employee gifting point of view, edibles seems like a very seasonal business, right? So can you throw some light into it as to what is the role of edibles or sweets or chocolates and the category that you deal with in employee gifting? And you can tell us a little bit about other kinds of gifting also, because I know you have a large pharma account. How many of you have pharma clients, pharma companies as clients here? Okay, just a handful. The rest of them, I think, are dealing, so good for you. Less competition. Right, so tell us a little bit about the role of edibles in employee gifting and in other industries. And is it seasonal? If it is, how do you handle it, and things like that?
Okay, thank you, Srikant ji. So now everyone is aware gifting is how big, मतलब gifting market is how big, right? I think सबको पता रहेगा. I don't know, मतलब मैं अगर किसी को फिगर पूछूं, कोई अगर रैंडम भी फिगर बोले, अगर CR में हम बात करते, पैन इंडिया में से बोलूँ मैं, गिफ्टिंग टेंटेटिव, बहुत सारे सर्वे आए, बहुत कुछ आए, गिफ्टिंग का अगर मैं टेंटेटिव फिगर बोलूँ तो कितना रहेगा सर आपके हिसाब से? हाउ मच? कुछ बड़ा अगर ज़्यादा हो सकता है तो आज ही पेपर वर्ल्ड ने न्यूज़पेपर में ऐड दिया है, उसके अंदर उन्होंने फिगर दिया है कि इतना बड़ा गिफ्टिंग मार्केट है. उनके हिसाब से 2030 में जो पेपर वर्ल्ड ने आज न्यूज़ में दिया है, दैट इज़ अराउंड 30,000 CR रुपीज़ में 2030 में, मे भी ऊपर नीचे रहेगा, बट ये फिगर उन्होंने दिया है. सो मुझे लगता है इससे भी बड़ा गिफ्टिंग वर्ल्ड है. सिंपल, मैं अभी टेबल के बारे में भी बात करूँगा. सपोज someone have 20 employees, 25 employees, 30 employees, 50 customer, 100 customer. हमने जो हम गिफ्टिंग इंडस्ट्री में, we also gave gifting to everyone, right? In season, non season, we just wait for occasion. कोई तो occasion आए and we just give to gifting to our customer, outside customer and also internal customer, employees internal customer, right? They shall feel also happy. तो हम वहाँ पे तो गिफ्ट देते ही देते हैं. एंड डेफिनेटली फेस्टिवल्स है, दिवाली, होली एंड एनी फेस्टिवल्स. सो व्हाट आई फील, ज़्यादा वहाँ पे स्पेस जो है दैट इज़ फॉर सम स्वीट्स, ईटेबल प्रोडक्ट्स के लिए, स्वीट्स, चॉकलेट्स और स्नैक्स और समथिंग, ड्राई फ्रूट्स, दिस टाइप ऑफ. सो व्हाट आई फील कि in every, even the company like they have 10, 20 employees, 50, 60 customers, at least they do 2 or 3 times gifting in a year. And the company who have 1 lakh employee, 1 lakh, they also do the gifting for their customers and employee. I have few customers, their strength is around 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 employees. What they do, they plan only one gift, like you told, customization and personalization. They do customized gift. From CEO to Pune, all get same gift, whole. And on the festival of Diwali mostly, or sometimes someone do the annual gifting on their annual occasion. Maybe their 25th anniversary, 30th anniversary, they do gifting. So this is a huge scope, and in employee gifting definitely, Eatable, I am doing Eatable since last 15 years. There is a growth every year by year. And yes, this is for employee. Like you ask me about pharma industry or any industry who have dealer, doctor, any in India. So they do whole year round gifting. So there is a full scope and full prospects in this industry. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you. So Vaibhav, I want to point to you when an organization thinks about gifting, right? Is it like how much importance is it given? So I want to since your employer branding and employee experience is your specialty, I want to understand, is there any, what is the association between work culture, employer branding and corporate gifting? Can you shed some light on that, please?
See, when we talk about gifting, definitely it has impact on employee culture. As I was saying that whatever we do, it has to talk about what company thinks about the employees as well as the customers. So end of the day, when we talk about gifting anybody, if it is useful, it is impactful, it is driving the culture, it is showing the values of the company, that's where it makes the major impact. I also agree with Saumya, personalization makes a lot of difference, and there are certain times where we cannot fit one thing for everyone, and that's where we have to have individualized, personalized gifting. I also agree with Dinesh, where there are certain times the gift should be all for everyone. It cannot be personalized. So based on the occasion, based on the requirement, based on the kind of message you want to pass on, the things will keep changing.
So there's a question, I'm sure it's running in everybody's head, and I always keep wondering, whenever there's an event which is happening, there's a awards night or something that's happening at the organization, 3 months before the hotel is booked. You booked the host and the celebrity, everything is done. Why do you come to corporate gifting companies in the last minute asking, saying, "Merko next week chahiye"? Why does that happen?
I have a different thought on that, and it's not that I'm going to shy away from my responsibility. End of the day, it is HR responsibility, and when HR plans things, all things are planned at the same time, and then certain responsibilities are given to certain functions. Right? I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So, yes, HR is the owner of that entire event, entire function. But then, if certain responsibilities are given to a certain function, for example, again, don't take me in another way, but talk about hotel booking. It has been given to the admin department. Okay. Gifting is being given to a procurement department. And they have been given very clearly the budget, the timelines, and everything. So if the procurement team is coming together, the vendor last moment, I think I'm very clear. I need these things by this date. Whether the procurement team goes the last day and get things done, or he goes a month before and manages everything. So.
Yeah. Okay. So Bhakti, next time we should have a procurement person also in the panel.
I was about to say that, procurement person should be on this panel as well. We'll have a very wonderful discussion all together here.
Right. So Siddhi, any stories, any horror stories of where a customer, when at the time of placing the order, like, try karo na, kuch ta karo, and then when it's not happening, if you can't do it, why did you take it?
Yeah. So the chaos is there. India is all about last minute and chaos, and I think we have to build our systems to fight that. So I think we've followed a couple of philosophies internally. When the order comes, if we are very clear we can't do, we say no. Certain customers still push us, and we still say, itna hi hoga. वो खींचते हैं, हम खींचते हैं, हो जाता है. So I think one of the things, not I think in terms of timelines, I think because events are very critical, and we've consciously moved away from event-related interventions, because I don't think there is any value that we bring to the table, because it's always a price and a timeline game. But I think to answer, because you told me, where we promised we couldn't deliver the whole trust bit, right? So I think we were fulfilling a mass gift for a Hyderabad-based company. We sent the entire consignment. It was a one-place delivery. It was a customized order, not personalized, and it was typically a stand in which the logo had to be placed. It was visible both sides, so there was nothing right or wrong. And the customer said that, why did you fix the plate in this manner versus this manner? And we said, now it's done. And he said, no, we need you to kind of change it. I had our sales head, our operations guy, a team from Hyderabad, who all went, camped at the office overnight, got them corrected, and then they could use it the next day in whatever distribution they had as an internal function. So I think just showing up to make sure that you are there with them, and we've not lost any client. The relation just became more stronger, and I think this is something we've learned enough that we have to own, show up, correct, and there is just builds more and more trust. Yeah. So that's how we've done.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that I've started seeing, right, with a lot of HRs, I think decision making in enterprise customers for any gifting is becoming more and more complex and difficult. One of the trends that we've really seen is they come to us, people like Confetti, Offineeds, PrintStop. Easy क्या है, personalize क्या है, customize क्या है. हम बोलते हैं 1,000 rupees का voucher add कर दो, उनको जो लेना है लेने दो. They make their own gift, onboarding kit, own LSA award. Everyone is happy. Employee is happy, HR is happy, admin is happy, procurement is happy, because 1,000 rupees का budget अभी 1,000 में वो bottle ले, bag ले, जो लेना है ले. So I think the tech has played a very big role in the way we are able to enable the whole experience. And every day something new is coming up.
Vaibhav, you wanted to add something?
So I just wanted to say one thing, that for the procurement team is like Shah Rukh Khan. They always say, "Main hu na," and they manage things.
Right. Yeah. So Saumya, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've seen, especially, right? What I see is your operations is based out of Jaipur. You have clients all over India. And like there were not enough complications in the business, you're like, let's add logistics also into the play, right? So tell us a little bit about what are the challenges that you face and how do you address them?
So I think I would just categorize it in an 80-20 principle. For us, 80% of issues have been gathered just around timely deliveries from the vendors. So I would say, it can be a chaos between who should be responsible, because there's also a third party, which is logistics, that is coming in the middle of it. While gifting is so time sensitive, no delays are acceptable, right? And even if you take certain margins or spaces of error, but still you are still contingent of how much of a delay are you expecting. There's never a right answer to that. So that is, I think, played a major role in terms of the disturbances that we see during our orders. And while we're trying to recorrect all those things by, better, transit times and better control over logistics by having our own channels, that's solving it in a certain manner. However, that still remains a little, a bigger challenge to address. We've faced multiple issues, I would say. To give an example, we had done an order. It was a large order. It was about 12,000 pieces, and we had to deliver during Diwali time. what has happened is every product was right on time, but there was just this one product that was not there, and you can't send a hamper without that one product for sure. And our whole hamper, the whole effort was delayed just because of that one product, 1 day of delay, and every other timelines were disturbed. So the intricacies of one small error are also too high. The cost of it is too high, because even for the company perspective, the cost is too high. And things as a vendor are complicated because it is not in your control. How do you solve that? I think that's the kind of company that the end customer really appreciate. Like, how quickly can you solve and turn around a problem that you already have? Over the years, we've learned this thing that, solutions can be as funny as it sounds. It can be anything. I remember there was this one product that was not there. I made sure one person flew to Bangalore, pick that up from the flight, pay for the charges, whatever that might be, but get this in 3 hours to me. I don't know what else to do. So all such problems come in. We find funny and creative solutions to make sure that we solve it, but the end goal is the solution, right? So that's what we do. And as a company, everyone is so solution oriented that we don't speak of a problem ideally. We have to focus just on the solution, that what has happened. Now what else? How do we solve it? And that, I think, makes the journey more fun also, plus challenging. And I think everyone loves it. Everyone loves that part of it, part of doing the business in that way. So yeah, I think it's a mix of everything, which mostly every business faces. The only problem is time sensitivity, which we're a little unlucky for, but yeah.
I think what I'm understanding here is we are calling ourselves a corporate gifting company, but we are actually a firefighting company. That's what we are. So Dinesh, I want to ask you this, right? So edibles is becoming a highly competitive space, right? Every day I'm seeing a new brand coming out on Instagram with something cool. So how important is a brand versus personalization? I've seen at your stall, you customize it, you do a lot of customization, right? Where is the line between, or the balance between brand versus that customization?
Okay. Hello. So now, like you said, I also see many products on Instagram and on many platforms. So thing is, in corporate gifting or in employee gifting, always quantity is bulk, which is first thing. Now people want, in gifting, generally what gifting means, what something experience, something like concept. They want to give their customers or their employees something conceptual. And whatever available in the market is ready. Like suppose when we started our journey in 2010, that time हमने जब शुरू किया था, then that time only 2 or 3 few brands, Cadbury, Ferrero, जनरली एम्प्लॉई और कस्टमर्स को वही गिफ्ट दिया जाता था अगर ईटेबल में है. एंड सम अदरवाइज 500 ग्राम 250 ग्राम 1 किलो ड्राई फ्रूट पैक इट और टेक इट फ्रॉम द ड्राई फ्रूट शॉप एंड गिव टू द कस्टमर्स. व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड आई सीन देयर इज नो स्पेस फॉर प्लेयर्स लाइक अस. व्हाट वी डन, वी स्टार्टेड कस्टमाइजिंग, वी अप्रोच देम. हमने बोला कि यार आपका ये दिस समथिंग मेडिसिन है, समथिंग लाइक वी हैव दिस कॉन्सेप्ट एंड हम कुछ इसमें कॉन्सेप्ट बना के आप आपके कस्टमर्स को दीजिए. वी स्टार्टेड इन दैट वे. For every festival, every occasion, if we make our gift something like experience and we approach our customers corporate gifting, and वो सेम कॉन्सेप्ट अगर वो अपने एम्प्लॉय को और कस्टमर्स को देंगे तो उसका वैल्यू है समथिंग डिफरेंट. आज अगर आप 1000 रुपीज़ 500 का वाउचर एम्प्लॉय को देते हो एंड समथिंग जो इमोशनली कनेक्टेड है विद एम्प्लॉय के साथ, कंपनी के कुछ इथिक्स है, कुछ भी है, और वो प्रोडक्ट के साथ देते हो तो उसका वैल्यू ज़्यादा है रादर देन वाउचर. दैट व्हाट आई फील. सो हमने इस चीज़ को कैच किया एंड डेफिनेटली जो हम इंस्टाग्राम या सभी जगह देखते हैं दैट प्रोडक्ट, वहाँ पे प्रोडक्ट का मार्केटिंग हो सकता है. हमारे जो कॉर्पोरेट गिफ्टिंग के प्रोडक्ट है उसका भी हम मार्केटिंग अच्छे से कर सकते हैं एंड दैट कैन आल्सो बी सेल ऑन D2C और दैट both the places it can be a sellable. That's my stand.
Thank you, Dinesh ji. So I have one last question for Vaibhav. After that, I'll invite any questions that you might have. We might have just time for maybe a couple of questions, and brace yourself because this is the one which we've been waiting for, right? So I think if you're in corporate gifting, there would have been some occasion where you would have had to do some kind of underhand dealings, right? We talk about companies having big vision and you sign the ethics agreement and all of that kind of stuff. And somewhere, I don't know whether it's the fault of the industry or the corporate gifting supplier or if it's what it is. So what's your view on that? Is it common that corporates might ask for personal favors, some decision maker might be asking for personal favors to direct the order in your direction? And if any of us face that kind of a situation, what do you suggest we do?
So I think this is very, very critical for all of us, not only for the corporates, but also for the partners. You guys are partners for us. And hence, I always put one thing in front, and that's what Toshiba philosophy is as well, that what is right. And for us, or rather, let me give my example. I work with Tata's, wonderful company to work with. I work with Airtel, cashish company, never thought of anything like that. Toshiba, a Japanese conglomerate. With my experience of about 25 years, believe me, I have not come across anything like this. That is one thing which I have learned is, if it is very clear at the top level that certain things cannot be tolerated, I think things will not happen. So end of the day, how the management philosophy
Everybody agrees to that? Okay, that's good. We'll see off stage who agrees, who doesn't agree.
Yeah, I mean, people will have different experience. I'm not saying no on that. People will definitely have different experiences. But people will also have good experiences as well. And unfortunately, we always talk about bad experiences. There are certain good experiences. Let me give one example. Some time back, I just read one article or one post. One of the Gujarat entrepreneur has gifted about 50 odd cars to their employees. Now, do you think anything can happen in that setup? I don't think so. So it's all about what is the mindset of a top person, a person sitting at the decision authority. What is his thinking about? How he wants to ensure that the gift or whatever he is passing on to employee, it is clean and neat. I think that's where makes a difference. That's what I think I would like to put it forward. But yes, I'm not saying no that things happen, absolutely happens. And as we rightly said, it is both responsibility. It is corporate as well as the partner's responsibility to ensure things in a right way.
Awesome. Thank you. Bhakti, do we have time for one or two questions? Sorry? Yeah, anybody has maybe one or two questions that, do we have a mic that we can pass on?
So I heard about customization and personalization. So my question is to Saumya, that you spoke, personalization is very different and very difficult as compared to customization. So if you have to scale and do a personalized order, how do you manage? I mean, which is the largest order? I mean, not the client, but the quantity. Have you handled, and how do you suggest other people who are into gifting to handle those personalized order? Because honestly, the experiences are very, very bitter when you are handling a personalized order, to a vendor, to a customer, both. So we try and avoid personalized order. So I want to learn something from you.
Sure.
in that regards, yeah.
So, the largest that we've done in terms of personalization was about 5,500 pieces. Customization, of course, is a lot easier than personalization, and in that the trickiest part was that we also personalized the products. So by that I mean not just putting their names, but the products were different in hampers. So it became all the more complicated. Now we had our own set of challenges for sure. The challenges, which I would speak first and then the solution. So we had faced challenge wherein we expected a certain man hours to be kept for that order. It rather doubled up. So our team wasn't ready. The timeline wasn't enough that we had to complete that order in, or probably we had to take some other order's time to actually ensure that things are done accurately, which became a lot of chaos for everything that was going on in the company. How we solved it is by making sure that each person is delegated only a single set of either a quality check or a task that is relevant to that order. You don't overcomplicate one person's thinking towards that order in a certain span of time. I think those QC measures and the way that you do tech I have many more examples, honestly, to give on how to solve personalization, because every personalization order is also very different. So if we talk about name personalization, you have to handle it very separately. So I can give an example of name personalization like we spoke of. We also use tech very heavily in this, because I would say the more human resources involved into checking these things, the worse it will get. So there are a lot of set of good cameras. Just to give an example, you can scan it in a way that every order will be scanned and they will know that this order has to be, the name has to be placed here, how many names have gone through by that set of camera. So all those little details you're supposed to add the moment that you want to get to scale. Because it's not possible to have 5,500 orders with name personalization or product personalization to go through without any error if only the humans are involved, right? So I think you need to inculcate tech for sure into personalization to make sure and ensure there is 100% accuracy in what you do. If you're okay with 98%, which you should not at all, that's the only time when you're supposed to look at human resource as a solution for this.
Do you think it's
Awesome.
worth it?
So I would invite you to have a one-to-one conversation. Saumya will be around for a while. But thank you, we've run out of time, and thank you so much, Gifts World Expo, and to all the panelists. I think this has been, I have learned something quite a bit of notes. If I had time, I would share that with you. If not, follow me on LinkedIn and I will be sharing something very soon. Right, thanks very much. I hope you guys
Thank
had
you.
fun.
Yes,
I had a
thank
ball
you.
of a time.
Yes,
And thanks
thank
very
you
much
so
for the
much.
lovely
Thank
audience.
you. Thank you.
Thank you all for the wonderful discussion. It was really interesting and entertaining. Thank you. Now, request all the panel members to be seated. Ms. Priyanka Pawar, Group Exhibition Head, Textile and Consumer Shows and member of Extended Board of Management, Messe Frankfurt, India, would be felicitating the panel members. Ms. Saumya Kabra. Ms. Siddhi Shah. Mr. Vaibhav Ugale. Mr. Dinesh Bhangdiya. And Mr. Srikant Acharya.